Dynamite Network presents Football Time.
Hey, and welcome to the Football Futures NFL style. We had college last week. We got NFL this week. This is maybe my favorite. Maybe NBA Futures tops this one, but I usually have a thick booklet of NFL Futures. You have a magazine, so you got a plenty as well.
I tried to keep pace with you. I knew I stood no chance, but I got a little bit here.
All right, so let's kick things off. I'm going to get my Super Bowl stuff out of the way because I don't basically want to read off my list. I have 4 AFC teams, 4 NFC teams to win the Super Bowl. We got Bills, Dolphins, Jaguars, and Steelers on the 4 AFC side of things, and on the NFC, the Eagles, Niners, Seahawks, Packers. We have that, and it's all mixed together, all round robin together.
Every outcome with those 8 teams
is both as a Super Bowl matchup, Super Bowl exact result, Super Bowl winner. Also, AFC winner, NFC winner, all those are there. So we save a lot of talking. Those were my 4. If you want to mingle all those together, a couple of those are really, really nice. A couple Steelers, Packer ones, a couple Seahawks, and
I would
Jags.
be shocked if we get a Steelers Packers Super Bowl.
I think there's a Jag one, maybe Jags Packers exact result that is in like the 1,000-to-1 area. So if you want to venture into those worlds, you really only have to bet $1 to win some money. But I know Dynamite has some Super Bowl futures.
I've got a few here. I'm leaning heavily towards a couple teams here. I really like the Eagles this year. They pushed all the way to the end last year, couldn't quite get over the top. They loaded up even more this year and could be even better. So I've got a couple plays here. One, Eagles Super Bowl winner. Got a unit that 8-1, and then some exact results. I've got Eagles over Bills at 41-1.
That one as well.
I've got Eagles over Chiefs at 34-1.
I bounced out on the Chiefs this year. That was last year's winner.
I've got here's my highest value one: Eagles over Jags at 110-1
as well.
and then Bills to beat Eagles. I think the Bills, this may be their year to get a push and jump over the Chiefs and make it there. Bills over Eagles in the Super Bowl at 41-1. I've got a quarter of a unit on all those exact results. And then finally, I did a to make the playoff parlay with teams I like. It's 5 teams: Eagles, Chiefs, Jags, Lions, Seahawks, all to make the playoffs at plus 550. 5-unit play there. That's one of my bigger plays.
All right. So let's break this down. We're going to go through each division with our teams that we have futures on, and then we're going to go sort of through our individual player stuff. We'll go year-end awards, year-end thing, and then we'll just go through teams that we have individual awards on too. We'll see what we got. Let's start out in the AFC East. Let's start out with those Buffalo Bills. I got a couple Buffalo Bill ones to hit on here. Division winner plus 120. That's a 3-unit play. I think there's pretty good value there. I know Miami. I know the Jets are looking there, but I still think Buffalo's easily the best team, getting pretty good value at the plus 120. I got exact order. I went 2 different ways here. I went Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, 12-1. And then I went Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets on that one. So flip-flop, Patriots, Dolphins on the 2 with the Bills winner, 19-1 on that one. I put 0.10 unit on that one. And then lastly, Buffalo Bills over 10.5 wins, minus 144. 2 units on that. I think 11 wins. Even if the Bills regress 3 wins, they're still hitting that 11 win mark from last year. So I liked that one pretty safe there, over 10.5 wins on the Bills.
I've just got one play involving the Bills team-wise, and it's the exact order of finish for the division. I think this division's going one way, and I've got Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. 650. I got a unit on that. I'm not big. I think the Patriots are going to be pretty bad. I'm not much bigger on the Jets. I think they're the bottom two, clear bottom two. But I think the Dolphins, if Tua can stay healthy, are going to be right there.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to the Miami Dolphins. Couple ones I got, outside of my Super Bowl and AFC winner ones. Number one seed in the AFC was 14-1. Got a little on that one. Most points in the NFL, 20-1 on that one. And then make playoffs, -105. I got a 2.5 unit play. That's one of my cover ones on that one. Really like that one on the Miami Dolphins. Anything for you on the Dolphins?
my first play on Dolphins. I've got Dolphins to make the playoffs, -105. I put a unit on that. I really like that. I think this team is definitely at least a wild card.
Yeah.
Just too many weapons on this team to not be successful.
I mean, you even saw it last year.
And I kind of like their coach.
When Tua got hurt, they were able to sort of overcome. It wasn't as smooth and flashy, but they were able to still win games.
And then I've got one more on the Dolphins, and it's Dolphins to score 1+ passing touchdown every regular season game. I think they've just got way too many weapons to not get a passing touchdown. I'm pretty sure with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, we could get a passing touchdown. So that's 10-1. I've got half a unit on that one.
All right. I'll move on to the Jets. Only one future on the Jets.
Same for
Under
me.
the 9.5 wins, +100, 2-unit play on that one for me.
Mine's similar. I've got Jets to not make the playoffs at +110. I've got one unit on that.
You got a little bit better value than I did. Because I guess.
What did you say? Under 9.5?
Yeah, I basically took wins to make
they're
the
not.
playoffs.
They're not making the playoffs if they go under 9.5. I don't think. I mean, crazy things could happen.
I think we're in this same thing. We just went about it in a different way.
Yeah.
I had no futures on the Patriots.
That's
sort of
same for me.
All right, we'll move on to the AFC South. Then we'll go to my Jacksonville Jaguars. I got a couple plays here. I got AFC wildcard, Jacksonville Jaguars, +850. I thought that was pretty good value there because I think there's a possibility two teams come out of here. I think the Titans could, in theory, be a threat to win this division. So I think Jacksonville might slip, but I think both could be in that 10-win range. If things go right for Tennessee, +850 I thought was good value. But we flipped things over to the other side. I got Jacksonville number one seed as well at 12-1. And then I have a couple of exact order. You could probably figure this out. But we're going Jags, Titans, Texans, Colts, +650. We're going Jags, Titans, Colts, Texans. So we're covering our bases, whichever way the Colts and Texans flip. That one's at 600. And then I did an alt win on the Jaguars in case they're that sort of team that makes that leap. Alt win over 12.5 wins, +400 on that. I like that one. Half unit on that one. What do you got for the Jaguars?
So I've got the exact order finish. But I only took the one because I'm actually a little bigger on the Colts than the Texans than you. So I've got Jags, Titans, Colts, Texans, 6-1 there, 1 unit there. And then I've got a couple on the Jags. One, I've got them over 9.5 wins at -144 unit play there. I think they get it to 10 at least because, I mean, they're going to get 4 or 5 in conference, I believe. It's going to come down to the games against the Titans. And then I should have done your number one seed because it's a little less value, but I've got Jags conference winner. So playoff success here for the Jags. It's 15-1. I've got a unit on that.
All right, let's move to the Tennessee Titans. I got a couple in here with the Titans. I got a couple that go with the Jag ones too. AFC wildcard +850 for the Titans. They think only one team's coming out here. If you grab both and you get two, you're going to hit that one, get pretty good value. I thought division winner +310. I thought that was pretty high for a Titans team that, I mean...
Well, I mean, it came down to the last game. Titans were bad last year, and it came down to the last game of the season.
I think they can be in and around 9, 10 wins if things go right, maybe more in that 6 to 8 range, but you know, it's football. They can win weird games. Minnesota won 12 games last year. I'm not sure they should have won 3. So weird things can happen. So I thought good value there at +310. And then this is where we're going to sort of combine things. We had the Jags exact division order, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with the Titans. Titans, Jags, Texans, Colts. Titans, Jags, Colts, Texans. That's 13-1 and 10-1. Basically, if you have all four of those, you're probably pretty safe that the Jags or Titans are going to win the division. You're probably pretty safe that the Texans and Colts are going to finish somewhere 3-4. You lose a little bit in the sixes, but 10, 13, you're going to win money as long as those two don't totally go in the tank there. But then I went the other side of things on the alternate win side for the Titans. We talked about it in our preview. If this team starts badly, I'm wondering if we get the tankage style. So I have alternate under 3.5 wins.
Oh, wow.
At 8-1. So
you were just talking them up so much.
Yes, I know, but I'm covering both sides. Caleb Williams is a very fancy quarterback. Would look nice behind center there. Much better than the three they have. So I don't know if they do that, but at 8-1, I don't think it's off the table that they could be one of those teams. There are a couple quarterbacks, too, in this draft, so maybe I don't know if they hit the 3.5, but I think it's a plausibility, especially if they start slow. Anything with the Titans with you?
I'm actually done on this division, so if you want to wrap us up.
All right. Well, I got one on the Colts, under 6.5 wins. That seemed like 7 wins with a rookie quarterback that we don't quite even know if he's ready to play. He wasn't even totally ready to play college football last year. So under 6.5 wins for the Colts, minus 118, 2 units on that one. All right, let's go to the AFC North. I'm going to just...
So, just to be clear, nothing on the Texans for either of us.
Well, yes, nothing on the Texans. Because I think we went over it in preview. I don't quite know what I'm getting from the Texans. AFC North, I'm going to say I took AFC wildcard for all 4 of these teams because they were all in the 2-1 range, 2.5. Cleveland, AFC wildcard 260. Baltimore 180. Pittsburgh 260. And Bengals plus 200.
Well, and we talked about this in our preview show. This that could be 3 of them.
That's what I was like. We could get
probably 2 at least.
We're getting probably 2 from that division. We could possibly get 3. You're getting 3 off that. So I didn't want to have to read it every time. Everyone in that division, possible wild card. But Steelers, division winner, plus 470 with the wild card winner, and that's what I got on the Steelers. What do you got?
I don't have anything on the Steelers. I think they're just a really big wild card. Nothing would surprise me with this team.
I got more player stuff here with the Steelers when we get to that. Ravens, I mentioned it, wild card for them. That's all I got for them. Anything for the Ravens?
I've actually got Baltimore to not make the playoffs at plus 122 unit on that one.
Cleveland. I got a couple on Cleveland here. Division winner, plus 400. I'm going to play that game. And then I'm going to go with your bets, except rushing. I'm going Cleveland Browns, 1 rushing touchdown every regular season game, 30-1. You got Chubb, you got Watson, you got Mitchell there too, who can run the little streaky things. I find that's probably pretty hard, but 30-1, I figure if you play the season 30 times, that might occur one time. So I thought decent value there on Cleveland, 1 rushing touchdown every regular season game.
I've got just 1 on Cleveland, under 9.5 wins, minus 134, 1 unit. I think we're going to see the Bengals, Steelers near the top, and Ravens, Cleveland at the bottom.
All right, Cincy, wild card thing for me. That's all I got. Anything with Cincy with you?
I got him division winner, plus 150 unit on that.
It's a decent one. All right, let's go out to the AFC West here. I don't think I knew exactly what to do with this division. This is probably my lowest bet one.
This one was kind of, there's a lot of wild cards. Well,
once I didn't bet the
not
Chiefs.
Wild cards in the playoffs. Wild cards as in we have no idea what we're getting.
Once I didn't make the bet with the Chiefs, I decided I didn't want their futures this year. It sort of left me hanging out there, but we'll go with the Broncos. We're going to take a really long shot. Number 1 seed, Denver Broncos. Woo! Sean Payton takes over and gets that win. That's at 30-1. So we're going to see if we can hit a lotto ticket, and Sean Payton is just smarter than everyone. And maybe Russell Wilson is mediocre at quarterback would probably be all I ask. Also, division winner 6-1 for the Denver Broncos there at a quarter of a unit. And then we got exact order. Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, 13-1 for me for the Broncos.
Yeah, I've got Broncos under 8.5 wins. I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be right at like 8. So that's minus 114, 1 unit on that one.
Yeah. All right. Kansas City Chiefs. I got 2 little things on there. AFC wildcard plus 360. I added this one once I heard the Kelsey injury. Because if he's out a long time, or they just slow play it. This could be something where you just don't want to mess with it. Bring him back second half of the season. Get yourself into the playoffs. Yeah. It's not like the Chiefs are, worried about having to go on the road or anything like that. They can play football where they can play football. Healthy Kelsey is more important than, winning 13 games in the regular season to them. So AFC wildcard plus 360. And then we're going to do exact order. We're going Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. So we just flipped the Broncos Chiefs thing from my Broncos play plus 550 on that one.
All right, I've got 2 on the Chiefs. One, I'm taking the over 11.5. I think we might see a little regression, but I think they get to 12 wins. Minus 124, 1 unit on that. And then I'm taking the obvious exact order of finish. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. It's just under 4-1 at plus 390. Yeah. Got a unit on that one.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders. I got a couple. One fun one here. Least regular season points, 40-1. I know everybody thinks
there's a good shot at that.
Offense is going to be flying.
The Bucs will probably give them a run for their money.
But I feel like we might be in the Aiden O'Connell era pretty quick. We might be in the Devontae Adams trade era pretty quick.
Coach getting fired.
We might be in the coach getting fired era pretty quick. We might be in the Josh Jacobs doesn't want to play running back for them era pretty quick. There's just a shot here that this becomes a really, really bad football team pretty quick. So 40-1 seemed like a lot. Granted, there are a couple teams in there. Carolina, Tampa, Arizona. But it seemed like a decent long shot. Under the 6.5 wins, I'm really big on that one. 2 units, and then we're going with our alt line as well on this one, under the 3.5 win mark, plus 420 on that one.
I'm done in this division, so go ahead and wrap us up.
Well, we're going to flip things on the Chargers here. We're going most points. Los Angeles Chargers, 16-1 on that one. Maybe Kellen Moore can get there, fling the ball around. They score a lot.
He did it at the Cowboys.
I think they had a year where they did hit that number. The most points is a little random. It never seems to repeat, and it's never who you think.
It also depends on the schedule.
It always is. It's always a little bit of a shot in the dark. So, all right, we ready to move to the NFC?
NFC time.
Things.
I've got more in the NFC, I believe.
All right, we're going to go out west first.
Okay.
We're going to start with San Francisco, and all I have is NFC wildcard plus 130 other than my Super Bowl and exact outcome bet. So NFC wildcard for the San Francisco 49ers plus 430 on that.
I've got one just to make the playoffs, San Fran, Seattle parlay, plus 124, 4-unit play on that.
Oh, I like that one. All right, so we'll move to the Seahawks. This is probably one I have a handful on here. With that, we're going number 1 seed, 13-1 on the Seahawks, quarter of a unit on that one. NFC wildcard for them, plus 230 on that. Division winner, plus 200. So we sort of cover both with good odds there. And then we got exact order. Seahawks, Niners, Rams, Cardinals, plus 550. You could probably work out what the next one is. Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals, Rams, 10-1 on that one. We got a couple more here on the Seahawks. Best regular season record, 35-1 on that. I think there's a little bit of a shot there. So I like that. Good odds there. And then over the 8.5 wins, minus 142. That's probably my biggest future play. I got a 5-unit play on the Seahawks going over that 8.5 win mark.
I've got a couple on Seattle. I've got division winner, plus 200, 2-unit play on that.
On that one.
And then I've got NFC winner. 13-1, 1 unit on that.
All right, move to the Rams. I don't know if Achilles is going to like the future plays on this one.
I have nothing on the Rams. I have no idea what to make of this team and what they're going to do.
You're being nice to your friend. I'm going to drop Thor's hammer here. We're going to be worst regular season record at 10-1. We're going to go a quarter of a unit there. We're going heavy on the under 6.5 wins, minus 134. 2 units
Trying
there.
to keep Caleb Williams at home, huh?
We are. And then, of course, what I've done with all the teams I think are terrible, the alternate win total line under the 3.5 wins, plus 450 half unit on that one. You had nothing on the Rams? All right. Let's move to the Cardinals here. I couldn't move the alternate win total line because the value was not very good, even on like the 1.5. So all I have on the Cardinals is under 4.5 wins, minus 140. I got a 2-unit plan.
I think this team is set up to be the best team at tanking this year. I got one play on
Considering
Arizona.
they started in the preseason, yes.
Arizona, worst regular season record, plus 250. 4-unit play on that. It's another large one for me.
Yes, I know. All right. Let's go to the NFC North and the Green Bay Packers. Couple ones on here.
We differ on them quite a bit.
I came to love them late. I that's probably the last 3 days. I've gotten hot on my Green Bay Packers. So I'm either going to win a lot of money early on or going to be losing a lot of money early on. It's either going to be South Alabama or Florida State for me if we're taking a college view of this. All right, so NFC winner, Super Bowl winner, but we're going division on them as well, plus 350. And then we have exact order, Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears, and then as you Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears. So it's a flip of the Lions and Vikings in the 2 spot. Bears always last, but 16-1 on the first one with the Vikings, Bears 3-4, and 17-1 on the Lions, Bears 3-4 on that one.
All right, I've just got one combo play, but I'll get to that at the end. But one individual play on the Packers, under 7.5 wins. I got plus money on this, plus 122, 1 unit on that one.
Yeah, well...
7 wins or less.
Yeah, this was the one with the big one. Packers beat the Steelers, exact Super Bowl result. That's 1,000-1. So anyone who wants to throw $1 on that one.
$1,000?
Yeah, replay of Super Bowl 2011, I think. All right, Lions, most points for me, plus 1,000 on that. So definitely a chance. Their offense was pretty prolific. Like I said, that's sort of a random dartboard. It's a matter of who you play and what sort of games you're playing all year long. But 10-1 on most points for the Lions.
Well, when you're as down on the Packers as I am, I think there's one clear bet in this division, and it's Lions, division winner, plus money, plus 145.
Oh, someone's buying the Lions.
5 units on that one for me.
Oh, my. What could go wrong with someone betting the Lions to win the division? All right. Chicago Bears.
I got nothing on them.
I got 2. Under 7.5 wins, plus 100 on that. 2-unit play on that. And then you could probably guess where this is going. Alternate win total. We're going under 3.5 wins for the Chicago Bears. 8-1. I think they might be a closet taker also in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes if they continue to decide that Justin Fields can't throw the ball, which they basically spent all last season.
I think they know that.
Trying not to do. So we got Bears under the 3.5 wins, 8-1. Pretty good value on that one. All right, let's go to the NFC East. Oh, I thought you said you were done.
No, didn't have anything on the Bears.
Oh.
You got anything on the Vikings?
No, I have nothing on the
I have one play on the Vikings, and then I have my special combo play that I mentioned earlier. I've got Vikings under 8.5 wins. This is also plus money, plus 104, 1 unit. This team deserved to lose a lot of games last year that they figured out how to win somehow. They're going to have a huge regression, under 8.5. And then my combo play, Bears, Packers, Vikings, all to not make the playoffs at plus 305. 1 unit on that. There's only one playoff team in this division, and it's the Detroit Lions.
God. Heavy betting on the Detroit Lions to be on top tier team. All right.
Bold statement.
It is a bold statement. I don't think they've won that division. I think like Cleveland has won the division more recently than like they have or something. All right. Where are we? NFC East.
Alrighty.
Philadelphia Eagles.
My Eagles.
I got a couple exact orders in this one. Eagles, Giants, Commanders, Cowboys. And then Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, 20-1 on the Commanders, Cowboys, 3-4, and 9-1 on Cowboys, Commanders, 3-4.
I've got quite a bit on the Eagles.
I figured you were Eagles happy.
I've got a number 1 NFC seed, plus 350, 2 units on that. NFC East winners, I think this is a lock at minus 115. I got 5 units on that one, a big play for them to win the division. And then NFC winner, plus 330, 5-unit win on that. So a lot of units on the Eagles. And then I've got another one of my fun ones, at least a passing touchdown in every regular season game, 18-1. 1 unit on that. And then I've got an exact order of finish. Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. It's the most popular one, but still decent value. Plus 440, 1 unit there.
All right. Going to the New York Giants. Going over the 7.5 wins, minus 104. 2-unit play there. Make the playoffs, plus 172. Really like that one out of the NFC. I kind of like this Giants team, so a 2-unit play on make the playoffs for the New York Giants.
Yeah, I've got a 2-unit play, and it's also on the over 7.5 for the Giants, minus 104. I think they're going to get right there. I don't know if it'll be enough to surpass the Cowboys, but I think they get right there around 8 or 9.
All right. I'm going to move to the Cowboys. I did one thing with the Cowboys. I did an alternate win total line under the 7.5 wins on that one, plus 360. We have Mike McCarthy calling offensive plays. There is a possibility for disaster to go on there.
I'll counter. I don't have anything with the Cowboys, but I'll go with my one play on the Commanders. I think this is another no-brainer. Under 6.5 wins, minus 122. 2-unit play on that.
All right, let's move to the NFC South.
I'm excited for this division.
I wasn't excited because I think everybody might be terrible in this division. So I didn't.
I think we could have some sneaky good teams come out of this division. I really do.
I did my stupid wild card thing just in case. 2 happened to make it, but then I got nervous, so I had to throw Carolina in there. I wasn't going to throw Tampa, so I did NFC wildcard for Falcons, Saints, and Panthers because they were all in and around almost 5-1. 430 for Falcons, 430 for Saints, 490 for Panthers. If the Panthers and Bucks are 2 of the worst teams in there, both the Falcons and Saints might be able to pile on a handful of wins in there, and like we were talking about in the AFC where it might take 10 wins, it could be 8 hovering around in the NFC. So I think both the Saints and Falcons capable of being in and around that 8-win mark. So you get the division winner and maybe sneak a wild card in there. But then I got nervous. I'd leave Carolina out and they end up with like the best defense in the league and then I get screwed out of it. So I had to throw them in, which sort of hurts the value a little bit, but you still are in plus money if they get 2 teams into the playoffs there. So that's pretty much what I got. The only other thing I got in the NFC South is Carolina Panthers concede the least amount of points. It sort of goes with the only way they're making the playoffs is if their defense is truly outstanding. 20-1 on that one. You could take over for the NFC
All
South.
right, I'll go through everything I've got on the NFC South. We'll start with, I've got a couple exact order of finishes. I kept the bottom 2, swapped the top 2. I've got Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks at 8-1, 1 unit there. And then I've got Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Bucks at 8-1 also, 1 unit on each of those. And this is probably one of my favorite futures right here. I like this one a lot. This is going to be real life money futures here for me, I think. Falcons to score at least 1+ rushing touchdown in every regular season game. 100-1. I've got half a unit on that one. I know Arthur Smith's play calling from his time at Tennessee. They've got Bijan Robinson. They've got Desmond Ridder. They're going to be getting some rushing touchdowns. I like this one a lot. And now we're going to wrap up with just some individual team ones. I've got Panthers under 7.5 wins, minus 122 a unit there. Bucks under 6.5 wins, minus 142, 2 units there. And then I've got Atlanta to make the playoffs in a weak NFC. I think there's going to be some wild cards up for grabs. Plus 104 there, 2 unit play.
All right, so That's through all the teams. Let's get to the players.
This is your category here.
This is-
I will not be able to keep up. I'll do my best, but get ready for a lot of champ here.
Yeah, there's a lot of player futures here. We're going to start with MVP awards. I got 4 guys I selected here. Jalen Hurts, probably the best value on the board, 12-1. That seems...
I feel like he should be like the favorite.
Yeah, if he hadn't have gotten hurt last year, I think he might have. And if you look at it, he didn't even play a lot of fourth quarters last year because they were blowing teams away. Like, his numbers could be something ridiculous if they wanted to stat pad. We talked about it in both our preview show and here. Both think there's a chance Jags make a leap.
Yeah.
16-1, Trevor Lawrence, MVP. Lamar Jackson, 16-1 MVP. We talked about their offense being retooled. If he can, like, throw for 4,000 yards, rush for 700, 800 yards, Ravens, 8, 9, 10 wins, he gets back in that conversation. And then lastly, we're going to throw Jordan Love in there.
Oh, my gosh.
5-1.
Oh, my gosh. This man has started, like, 2 football games in his life, and you're picking him for MVP?
I think he started like 13 total because he only started the 1 year in college as well. So, but
MVP of the National Football League.
Well, if the Packers win like 12 games, they aren't going to give it to Aaron Jones. So 35-1, worth a little bit of a splurge on there in case the Packers turn out to be great and they're playing spike football. What MVPs do you got?
I just got the one play, Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to win it.
Yeah,
12-1.
12-1. Great value. If you're betting on one of those, probably Jalen Hurts. 16-1 Lamar Jackson, I didn't think was also iffy. If they are managed to pass the ball, you assume he'll get in and around his rushing yards. But if he can hit 25, 30 touchdowns, 4,000, 16-1. All right, Offensive Player of the Year. I have 4 of these as well. The first one I took, Tyreek Hill, 20-1. Before Tua really got hurt, he was sort of on pace to break Calvin Johnson's records. If Tua stays healthy, I think he's got a shot at that. You do have Waddle on the other side of things. He might take some away. But I think 20-1, pretty good value for Tyreek Hill there. Lamar Jackson, we already talked about it in my MVP. 22-1 there. I thought both these were really, really, I didn't understand why they were in the 30-1. I know this brings in receivers and running backs, but if Allen were to say rush for 700 yards, throw for 40 touchdowns,
Yeah.
you're going to put him definitely in the Offensive Player of the Year. And you got the same thing with Hurts. He throws for 4,000 yards, rushes for 1,000 yards, throws for 30 touchdown rushes for 10 to 15 more. 30-1. I'm putting a little on that for Offensive Player of the Year. Any Offensive Player of the Year for you?
I don't have that category.
All right. We'll move to Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to go T.J. Watt, 8-1. That's pretty self-explanatory. If he's healthy, he's going to be in that mix. The one actually I really, really like is Sauce Gardner at 20-1. If the Jets are going to be good, their defense is going to be good. He's in New York. Quinnen Williams is probably their best defensive player. I got that a little later in here with a fun little parlay that FanDuel had up there. But 20-1, if the Jets end up winning 10, 11, 12 games, their defense is going to be what carries them. His name's going to be bouncing around with the New York bias too. I think there's a shot there. I mentioned Carolina. Brian Burns. Now, granted, me and 20 other people might be who know who Brian Burns is, but he's a very good defensive player. If Carolina is an elite defense, he'll be in there 35-1. Then I have the real long shot. Thibodeau, who really started to come on last year. It's the same sort of theory with Gardner. He'll be in that Giants territory.
Yeah.
If the Giants play above their level and win 10, 11, 12 games and are a contender, they're going to look for names. He'll be the name on there. Any defensive player of the year for you?
I do not.
I know you have a couple rookies.
I've got some couple rookies of the year.
All right. We'll go me, rookie of the year on the offensive end, Anthony Richardson, 7-1. I think they're just going to use him a lot, especially in the rushing game. So, he might have 3,000 yards passing, 800 to 1,000 yards rushing, be in there with 20 total touchdowns. And they like quarterbacks anyway. And the other thing is, this doesn't really depend on your record. Nobody really cares what the rookie of the year's record is. So I like that one at 7-1. I thought there was pretty good value there.
Speaking of getting used to rush the ball a lot, I'm going to take Atlanta Falcons rookie Bijan Robinson, rookie of the year, 3-1. I got a unit on that. He's the favorite, I believe, or one of the favorites. But he's going to get a lot of touches in this offense. And then I've got another, half a unit shot on Jahmyr Gibbs on offensive rookie of the year. He's going to be very Alvin Kamara-esque, and I think he's going to fit this Detroit offense well. He'll be sharing a lot of time with David Montgomery, but I think he's gonna be integrated in the passing game quite a bit and get stats all over the field.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't love those is because they're both in backfields with other guys, so maybe the carries get split a little bit more, but they're definitely on better teams where more yardage will come. Richardson will be on a bad team, but, he might look cooler when he, barrels over a handful of linebackers through the year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. There are a couple others that I like, but I think Jalen Carter, looks the coolest on a poster and has the most sort of defensive stats that you see. I think somebody like Will Anderson might make more of a difference, a couple of the other corners. But, it's hard to sort of see what Will Anderson does. He does get some sacks, but he's more just a game wrecker. You don't necessarily always recognize that. And Carter probably will get a ton of one-on-ones with that Philly thing and, end up 10, 11 sacks on that. So Carter, 550 Defensive Rookie of the Year. Any on Defensive Rookie of the Year for me? All right, this one might be a little sacrilege. Comeback Player of the Year. They pretty much already handed it to Damar Hamlin, so you can't bet on that. But he is kind of a backup safety. There's half an off chance if Buffalo has, injuries, they might release him. He's not a stalwart on their defense. I don't know if you can give it to him if they have to release a guy or it's a guy
I don't know if they could PR-wise afford to release him.
That was a little bit of my worry, but if it's the NFL, maybe it's, a blurb.
Maybe they give him an extra roster slot just to keep him on the team.
It's a blurb on a Monday, and then they aren't allowed to cover it anymore. But anyway, Tua was down and looking just as bad occasionally as Damar Hamlin a couple of times in there. So 20-1 seemed like a half shot. He's somebody who will play every snap and put up sort of numbers. So Tua, 20-1 Comeback Player of the Year. Anything on Comeback Player of the Year?
No, but I'm going to give my one Coach of the Year play.
Okay.
Arthur Smith, 14-1 Coach of the Year in Atlanta. I think Atlanta could have a sneaky good year this year. You're big on the Packers. I'm big on Atlanta.
Big on Atlanta. I'm not big on Atlanta. I don't know if Arthur Smith plays the kind of style of football that you like.
I miss him in Tennessee.
Coach of the Year. All right. I have a couple of awards parlays. These were on FanDuel. We mentioned it. I said Jalen Carter, Defensive Player of the Year. This one gives you the same odds. You also get Nolan Smith. Now, granted, speaking of people you won't know are really good or bad, but you get an extra guy in there who's going to be an impact guy on defense, so it was worth a little bit extra. Same with this one. I talked about Sauce Gardner, but you also get Quinnen Williams. Now, the odds of a defensive tackle winning Defensive Player of the Year that doesn't get a ton of sacks, hard, but most people know Quinnen Williams, really good defensive tackle, plus 950 on that. This one I liked. Lamar Jackson, MVP or Offensive Player of the Year, 10-1. He could win either or on that one. So maybe, Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts wins MVP, but Jackson has fancy numbers. He wins Offensive Player of the Year. This one I took a shot on because it was really, really huge. But C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. We talked about it that maybe the Texans can get up to 6 wins. If they can do that, maybe they give the dynamic duo,
that'd be
a
impressive.
thing. 40-1.
Yeah.
So now, this one's even better.
Wow.
The odds were really, really good on this. But if Carolina somehow can win more games than I think they can, Bryce Young, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Frank Reich, Coach of the Year.
Oof.
85-1 on that one. So not likely, but long shot odds, decent value, I think. And then This one goes with my Packers love, but probably has even less of a chance of winning a defensive. At least linebackers get tackles, so you can functionally see that. But I'm not even sure Von Ness is going to play every down. But Matt LaFleur, Coach of the Year, Lucas Von Ness, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 160 to 1 on that one. So might take a couple Hail Mary throws, see if one of those hits. Any fun player parlays that you
I didn't get any player parlays.
All right, we're going to go to end of the year sort of player leaders here. I got passing touchdown leader Trevor Lawrence 18 to 1, Lamar Jackson 20 to 1 for that. Any other passing leader totals you have?
Passing touchdowns, I've got Jalen Hurts at 40 to 1.
Yes.
Got a unit on that, and Josh Allen at 6 to 1.
Yeah, I got passing yardage leaders. We got Tua and Trevor Lawrence, two guys who I think will throw the ball a lot. 18 to 1 on Tua to lead the league in passing yardage, and Trevor Lawrence 16 to 1 to lead the league in passing yardage.
I've got 2 on passing yardage. One, Trevor Lawrence at 16 to 1, and then I've got a little bit of a long shot I like.
Tannehill?
No, two, a sentence that you never thought you'd probably ever hear in your life. Geno Smith to lead the league in passing, 30 to 1. A small quarter of a unit play on that one.
It's possible.
They've got some weapons.
He might be the second or third best quarterback in the NFC. So, all right, this was a fun one. We talked about it a little bit. Most interceptions, and I dug deep on this one, and I was like, well, you're going to have somebody who probably plays most of the year. So I sort of crossed Stafford out. I crossed Baker Mayfield out. I crossed a couple of guys out. And I went, well, the 3 rookies, probably as long as they stay healthy, are going to be in there for better or worse. And their numbers were pretty high, so it valued out. So Stroud, Young, Richardson, all to lead the league in interceptions. 14 to 1 on Stroud, 16 to 1 on Young, 16 to 1 on Richardson for most interceptions.
I just took the one play. I've got Anthony Richardson, 16 to 1.
He went calm. I went with the trifecta there. All right, let's go to the rushing side of things. Rushing touchdowns, lead the league in rushing touchdowns. I went 4 guys, all pretty long shots, but the one I like most, Tony Pollard at 20 to 1. I thought that was really, really good value there. A sneaky little 30 to 1 Anthony Richardson. No Jonathan Taylor. That big body down there at the goal line. I don't know how many times they're going to be down at the goal line, but I feel like that battering ram is going to be there. And if you look at Jalen Hurts, he was up there in rushing touchdown leaders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, use that body for what it's worth. The same sort of thing with Byron Robinson Jr. He's their sort of big pound it back. 30 to 1 on that one. And then Kenneth Walker at 25 to 1. That's one I actually like because Seattle will pound the rock and go after that. So Pollard, I think, probably the best value because they don't really have a backup running back who will get touchdowns. Mike McCarthy wants to run the ball this year, so I doubt Deuce Vaughn is getting the carries down at the goal line. So 20 to 1 on that. Any rushing touchdowns?
I don't have any rushing props.
All right, rushing yards. Tony Pollard, 12 to 1 on that one. We already mentioned Cowboys going to run the ball, and then Kenneth Walker, 23 to 1 on that. We're taking 2 teams who have liked to run the ball in the past. You said no rushing.
I've got a lot of these plays, but they're in my over-under categories.
I did some of those as well. All right, total scrimmage yards. I took 1 here. I got Tyreek Hill at 25 to 1. I thought that was pretty good value. Like I said, he was on pace to break Calvin Johnson's 2,000-yard receiving record there, and he's probably good for about 200 rushing yards when he gets those little rushing plays. So I thought decent value on that. Let's go to receiving things here. Receiving touchdowns. Calvin Ridley to lead the league in receiving touchdowns, 28 to 1. Same 28 to 1 with Mike Williams. If I can get a full season out of Mike Williams, I think that's pretty good value. 1 season. We need 1 healthy season out of Mike Williams there. No receivers for you in the yardage.
No.
All right. Total receiving yards. Tyreek Hill plus 950. Stephon Diggs. I actually like the value on that one. 16 to 1 on that. I thought that was pretty good value overall, especially if Burrow's slow to start.
Yeah.
You knock Jamar Chase out of there. You still got Justin Jefferson in there, but Diggs is always up there in the top 3 or 4, so it's not that much of a long shot. 16-1 I thought was good value. All right, some rookie receiving props
I've
here.
got to play here.
I know, I saw that. Rookie receiving yards, I got Zay Flowers plus 350 on the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to throw the ball a little bit more. It's one of those weird years where not a ton of receiving talent came in this year, as sort of the past couple years where we had a lot of guys who were really, really good. It's sort of a medium class.
There's one I really like, and he went to Seattle, and it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. I got him 6-1 for most rookie receiving yards.
The problem there is they have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on the outside. All right, so most receptions for a receiver, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown 12-1. Actually, if you go back and look, there are only like 2 other guys who have more receptions than him in the last 4 years in the league. It doesn't seem that way, but he's actually been a really, really consistent receiver. Any more sort of player overalls?
The rest of my plays are going to be over-unders.
All right. Well,
So let's go on a little bit of a run here.
all right. I'm going to finish out my division stat leaders. I actually really liked these. So
Okay.
NFC North passing yards, Jared Goff plus 250. I really liked that one. I think we can cross Justin Fields off. I think we could probably cross Jordan Love off, despite the MVP vote. So that leaves Kirk Cousins. I'm going to take my chances if you're giving me 250 head-to-head Goff Cousins.
It's going to be a health thing, I think.
Yeah. NFC South passing yards. This is actually my biggest future. Derek Carr is only minus 165. The quarterbacks in the NFC South are Desmond Ridder, rookie Bryce Young,
And Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield till Kyle Trask takes over.
Oof.
So as long as Derek Carr is alive and healthy, I think he's going to lead this division in passing yards. The Falcons possibly might not throw a pass all year long. So minus 165, 6-unit play on Derek Carr to lead the
big.
NFC South in passing yards. My other really big one, NFC West passing yards. We have Stafford and, question mark with the Arizona Cardinals. You got Brock Purdy there, but
They run the ball.
this was even. Geno Smith, plus 110 to lead the NFC
As long as he
West
stays healthy.
in passing yards. That was a 4-unit play. So we're going to take advantage of those. NFC North rushing yards. David Montgomery was plus 650. I think he's going to have some more yards than people think. He's always been a pretty solid, consistent rusher. Not explosive jump off the screen, but he gets his grindy yards and goes. NFC South rushing yards. Miles Sanders plus 320 for Carolina. If they're going to move the ball, it's probably going to be with him. And then I'm taking a real long shot here. Kamara's suspended. He's sort of dropped off each and every year. Jamal Williams played really, really well for the Detroit Lions. You mentioned Atlanta splitting backs. I don't know what Tampa is. Carolina might not be able to move the ball at all. So Jamal Williams, 16-1. I thought that was decent value. I don't know if he's going to do it, but, if things break right, 5 guys from Atlanta might have 800 yards.
That's true.
Tampa Bay, I'm not sure even has a qualified running back. And Carolina can't move the ball. And you never know with Kamara right now. So 16-1 seemed like good value. NFC North receiving yards, Christian Watson, 12-1. That was mostly just a long shot take if Jordan Jefferson happens to get hurt. I'm not sure we're going with DJ Moore to lead the league in receiving, and Amon-Ra St. Brown would be the other one, but I think Watson and St. Brown probably around the same level of receivers. So 12-1 seemed like good value. AFC East passing yards, Tua plus 290. Thought that was decent value.
Yeah,
you got Allen.
It's him and Allen.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets, if they want to be successful, are going to be trying to lead the league in passing yards.
Yeah,
if they are,
and I don't think Jones is going to be lighting it up.
They might be another team who doesn't throw the ball the whole game. AFC East rushing yards. I was actually shocked. Cook, now we got some more on him later, but Cook was plus 500.
I didn't think you liked split backfields.
I'm not sure how split this was. I think this was a Aaron Rodgers request because someone might not be able to block. And so I'm a little curious how much Brycey Hall, one, is going to get on the field with it coming back from a torn ACL.
Brees.
And how much he blocks. I think Cook's going to get a lot more carries than people think.
Yeah.
And then AFC South, receiving yards, Calvin Ridley, plus 250.
I like that.
I like that one.
He's good.
There's no one with the Texans.
He got to rest a year.
I would not put money on anyone on the Colts leading the league in receiving. You got Hopkins there, but he's been a little in and out of the lineup the last couple of years too, and it's not a team that tends to throw the ball a ton. And then lastly, we're going to go through all our player numbers from teams. So,
Okay.
I'm going to start off. This is going to be not in a great order because I couldn't separate it. It was just going down the line. So we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. It's basically going to be in sort of alphabetical order.
All right.
But not alphabetical order. Arizona Cardinals, I got James Conner, 10 plus rushing touchdowns, plus 360 half unit. And James Conner, this one I actually like, 750 rushing yards on the season, plus 115, 2 units.
How else are they going to move the ball?
That's pretty much my theory. This seems like the only person who's going to even be handling the ball on the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm going to jump on some James Conner while we can. Anything on the Arizona side?
Nothing for the Cardinals.
All right. Baltimore Ravens. I got a couple Lamar Jackson ones here. 30-plus passing touchdowns, 2-1. 4,000 yards passing, 350 on that one. And on the over, Lamar Jackson over 3,350 passing yards, minus 112 on that one. 3-unit play on that. And then lastly, Zay Flowers, 750 receiving yards, plus 155 on that.
Nothing on Baltimore from me.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you a break at some point, but you're not getting teams I have plays on.
Well, I doubt you'll have any plays here.
No.
Carolina Panthers. Adam Thielen, 10-plus receiving yards, 11-1. I assume they will have at least 12 passing touchdowns on the year. He might be the only one who catches passing touchdowns. So, I don't know. He's always been a goal line guy. He's the only one who seemingly at one point in time was a legit pass catcher in the NFL. Seemed like a lot, 11-1 for 10-plus receiving yards for Thielen. Anything on the Carolina Panthers?
Nope.
All right, Cleveland Browns.
I got one.
All right, give us your Cleveland Browns player prop.
A player I really like, I think is going to be one of the better tight ends in the league this year, David Njoku. I think he's going to be one of Watson's favorite targets, and 3.5 was the number on touchdowns. He's going to be a red zone threat, minus 134 2-unit play there to get at least 4 touchdowns.
I'm going 2 on the Browns. 1, Myles Garrett, 15-plus sacks regular season. I think that's easily a lock. That's even money at 100. I go in 4-unit play on that one. And then I'm going over Deshaun Watson, 3,625 and a half passing yards. I don't even know if he'll be good, but I think he can get 3,800 yards passing if he plays the whole year. So minus 112 on that 1-unit play on that one. To the Dallas Cowboys. Any Cowboys?
I got a couple here, and they're both on a guy that you liked in some of your futures earlier.
Well, we're loaded with those as well.
Tony Pollard. He might be the best running back in the league this year. Good offensive line. Run game's going to be solid. Over 1,500 rushing yards. I've got a 3-unit play on that, and over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. 1-unit play there.
I got a couple on Tony Pollard. We're going Tony Pollard, 10-plus rushing touchdowns, plus 200. 2-unit play on that. Tony Pollard, 12 rushing touchdowns, plus 4. 41-unit play on that. Tony Pollard, over 1,250 rushing yards, plus 340. 1-unit play on that. And then we're going to throw in a little CeeDee Lamb as well. This one probably a little bit harder to hit, but 10 receiving touchdowns, plus 200 on that.
Wow.
I don't really... Cooks... I don't know. He seems like the only one to throw to. So if they're going to score, it's going to be Pollard and Lamb. So I thought maybe at least I could split the difference. One of those is going to have 10 touchdowns on something. So Detroit Lions. Anything on the Lions with us?
No.
All right, I'm going Aiden Hutchinson, 10 plus sacks. I liked the value there.
Oh, wait, I did have a Lions. I'm sorry.
You
Go
do
ahead.
have a
Go,
line.
sorry.
We'll finish out. Aiden Hutchinson, 10 plus sacks, even money, minus 110 on that 1 unit play. Jared Goff, 4,000 yards passing, plus 122 units on that. And then I think we got David Montgomery love here. 1,000 plus rushing yards, plus 341 unit on that. I really like that one.
I don't know if Montgomery's going to get the yardage, but I think he's going to get the touchdowns. And his line was at 5.5. It's juiced pretty bad to 156, but I think this guy's make a good double-digit touchdowns. I got 4 units on that over 5.5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. All right, Indianapolis Colts.
No.
I got one play there. Anthony Richardson, 10 plus rushing touchdowns, plus 490. I already mentioned it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're running the ball on the goal line, it's probably going to be him. So give me that all day long at 5-1. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I'll start. I've got Calvin Ridley over 950.5 receiving yards, minus 112. I like that one.
All right. I got a handful of Jags. We're going positive Jags here. Trevor Lawrence, 40 plus touchdowns, 12-1. The breakout year.
40 plus.
Trevor Lawrence, 4,000 yards passing. I actually really like this one.
That one's
minus 120. I think that's free money on that one. Ridley, 1,000 yards. I think if he stays healthy, that one's pretty easy, especially plus 155. I like that one. Ridley, 6 receiving touchdowns, minus 130 on that one. Then we'll take a little bit here and put 10 receiving touchdowns for Calvin Ridley. Probably won't hit that with the depth that the Jags have.
Yeah.
But 5-1, decent value on that. On Calvin Ridley, 10 plus rushing touchdowns. New Orleans Saints, anything with the Saints?
I got a couple. There's one player I like in particular on the Saints, and I think he's going to become a favorite. Chris Olave, over 5.5 receiving touchdowns, minus 112, 3-unit play there. And then 8 plus receiving touchdowns for Chris Olave. That's plus 240 unit there.
I got one. Derek Carr, 4,000 yards passing on that. You mentioned it. Theoretically, Michael Thomas is also healthy. He once could play football pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still can, but if you can give me Thomas and Olive, that's a nice little passing tandem there. Plus 140 on that one for Derek Carr, over 4,000 yards. Seahawks, any life?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting good.
Geno, over 3,825 passing yards. That's minus 112.
Yeah.
4 units there. He breaks that easily.
I got a couple Kenneth Walker ones, 1,000 plus yards, plus 135, 1 unit played there. 1,250 rushing yards on that one, plus 550 half unit on that. And then Tyler Lockett, 750 receiving yards.
I think Njigba's going to take away some of his production.
Nothing takes away Tyler Lockett's production every year. It's always there, no, and then he always gets his numbers. He's like Brandon Cooks, except better and possibly more likable. But Tyler Lockett, 750 receiving yards, minus 170. 4-unit play there. New York Jets, anything going on with
Nothing
the Jets?
on the Jets for me.
Well, I mentioned it. Dalvin Cook, 750 rushing yards on the season, plus 200. Going all in on that one. 2 units on that one. Dalvin Cook, 1,000 rushing yards, plus 650. 1-unit play on that one. Buffalo Bills.
No.
We're going to go James Cook, 6 plus rushing touchdowns, plus 260. Maybe they don't run Josh Allen every time down at the goal
they might
line.
want to keep him healthy.
That would be a good idea, but we'll see. I don't know if the play's always called for Josh Allen to run. I think sometimes he might just take off and ram his large body through people. But Cook, 6 plus rushing touchdown, plus 260 on that one. Pittsburgh Steelers, anything?
Yeah, I got one. A little bit of a resurgent year, I think, this year for this guy. Najee Harris, over 825.5 yards rushing at minus 112. We've got 1-unit play there.
Yeah. We're going to ride the George Pickens train here.
Pick it to Pickens.
Yeah. He definitely looks good on a poster. Can he be an elite receiver? We'll probably find out this year, but Pickens, 750 receiving yards, minus 145, 4-unit play there, 1,000 receiving yards, plus 272 unit play there, and George Pickens, 6 plus receiving touchdowns, plus 125, 2-unit play there. All right, Green Bay Packers, anything?
No.
I'm going Christian Watson, 1,000 receiving yards, plus 181 unit play there. The Washington Commanders.
Nope.
I got one, but I couldn't find the other. If you can find like a 750, I would advise taking that one and adding a unit to this to balance it out. But Jahan Dotson, 1,000 receiving yards, plus 320, 1 unit play on that. But if you can find that 750, 800 somewhere, that's really what I take. I couldn't find it on FanDuel or DraftKings. I didn't bother to look at the other snobbier ones that are a little less kind to player props, but I think Dotson will have a big year, and I actually think he might be a little bit better than McLaurin this year. Tennessee Titans, anything.
I've got one.
Yeah.
My boy Ryan Tannehill, over 17.5 passing touchdowns.
Well, I'll
2 units.
Go with that. I got DeAndre Hopkins, 6+ receiving touchdowns, plus 125. Little shocked that was at plus 125. I think Hopkins grabs the touchdowns. He's still able to get that jump ball. Probably their best option down there still for that 2-unit play on that. Cleveland Browns.
Njoku, again, over 3.5 receiving touchdowns, minus 134, 2 units there.
I'm going with Zadarius Smith, 10+ sacks. I think on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, he'll get one-on-one. He's been a sack beast pretty much his whole career coming out of the Vikings season. Zadarius Smith, 10+ sacks, plus 122. New York Giants, anything?
Nothing on the Giants, but I've got at least two maybe that you haven't hit. Maybe right. Some teams you didn't have props on.
Yes, I know. This is my last one. We'll go. Tavion Thibodeau, 10+ sacks, plus 440. I thought that was pretty good value to get him 10+ sacks. 1 unit play there.
I think the 3 that we didn't hit, I don't think you had any for the Dolphins.
I don't have any
I've got Tua, over 3,800 passing yards at 1 unit there. The Bengals, I've got Mixon, over 825 rushing yards. And then finally, Kansas City Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, over 5.5 touchdowns.
Big on the Pachinko.
Minus 108.
Trusting Andy Reid to pick a running
back. I think there's going to be more running offense, especially with this Kelsey injury. I think they're going to run the ball more.
They might, but it might be some running back who's not on the team yet.
And that wipes it out for me.
And that wipes it out. NFL futures in
Fun
the
stuff.
Bucks. We'll see how we did at the end of the year. Last year, very, very good. Futures.
This is my first year on futures in the NFL.
Yeah, I know. We'll see how you do on the futures in the NFL. Be sure to like and subscribe and watch all our shows. New Wager Zone dropping. We'll have our picks shows out in the next couple of days. And all football this week. Soccer on the back burner as they go to international play. Maybe a few plays from me. I'll have to look and see. Probably none from Dynamite David. Sort of a good time to reset the brain. Yeah. Look forward 2 weeks from now where it'll probably be in brain overload. But be sure to like and subscribe. Catch all our shows on GLN TV. That's our show, and we're out.
Greenlight Network presents Football Time.